Hi guys, today we're going to be doing our C20 set review because that's a great product. So we've just compiled a list of notable cards and we're just going to be talking about them. As you might be able to hear, we need to call each other because of COVID-19, and so yeah, that's how we're dealing with it. Hope you guys are not too affected by it. So we're gonna be taking it through each color and then the multicolor cards of note and stuff. So our first card is Cartographer's Hawk. Our first notable card, that is. So Cartographer's Hawk is a great card. It ramps you, and it's just generally a really great card. And the fact that it's not a basic plains, it's a non-basic plains, is really, really good. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I think just generally to start off is to outline that it is another piece of ramp in white. Similar to the other ramp cards in white, the 2 white mana knight, I believe. It has the same limitation that it only has a trigger when your opponent controls more lands than you.
Yeah.
But I think in a white deck in Commander, this isn't necessarily very uncommon. I think it's just another notable white ramp piece, and that's always good for us to get more of those.
I mean,
it's a great addition to any mono white deck.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you're not going first, I mean, you can play this turn 2 if you're going second or third or something. And play this turn 2, and then next turn you don't play a land, you hit them, you get a plains, and then you play your land drop. That way it's more consistent ramp. But it's also great if you're not doing too well on mana fixing, mana, whatnot. And I mean, just the fact that it can search for shocks and other non-basics with the plains type is really good. So our next card is Flawless Maneuver. So this card is a cycle of cards in C20, which for 2 and whichever color you can cast it without paying their mana cost with if you control your commander. And so this one's really good because it protects your creatures, so it gives them all indestructible for potentially no mana. And generally you're going to be playing these if your pieces are threatened. So if someone board wipes, for example, and you're in the good position, you're going to be able to protect your board. And everyone else is going to lose their boards unless they obviously have something else. Thoughts?
Flawless Maneuver, I think, is, along with the rest of the cards in this cycle, which I believe we'll be talking about later on, they're just really nice cards. The fact that they are another free spell, I think, as we've seen throughout Magic's history, free spells are always a powerful card, and it's a very powerful effect. Creatures gaining or indestructible until end of turn, but all creatures that you control. You can cast a board wipe, and then for 0 mana, protect your creatures from that board wipe. Or in the event that someone else board wipes and you're in a strong position, as long as you have your commander out, this is a great way to survive that and then continue on to win the game. I think it's definitely a way to maintain a strong position, or just keep your commander alive, or your commander and a couple of creatures alive in a situation where you need them.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that. The fact that you can cast a board wipe and then in response to your own board wipe, give your creatures indestructible, so you can destroy, it turns into a Plague Wind effect, and so that's just devastating for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that can be a game-winning play.
Yeah.
Right now.
So our next one is Verge Rangers, which there was a card that was compared to, What was it? It was like a Theros card original. So, it wasn't Profitive Prefix, that's different. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
This is a good card. Because, first of all, it's a 3/3, first strike for 3, which is decent mana. And information advantage. But, like, it's also,
I remember Corsair Prefix.
Corsair of Prefix. Corsair of Prefix. Yeah, but, like, it's another ramp piece in white. Like, kind of.
Oh, not ramp, but it's card advantage.
Yeah, advantage, that's what it is. And the fact that, like, if you don't have any lands in hand, and you've got, like, 3 lands in this, and a lot of big creatures, then, like, you can definitely rely on this a bit to make sure that you don't, like, miss land drops.
I think it's a nice card. Once again, card advantage in white, not that common, so it's always nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good card. Don't really have anything more to say on it. So the next one is Call the Copper Coats. So this is an interesting card, and like you can get a lot. It's a very, I don't know how to put this. Like, it depends on your opponents having board states. Like, it just depends if.
But it's a good counter for that as well.
Yeah, but you're getting 1/1s where they might have 2/2s or like 4/4s and stuff. It's still a really good card, but if you're using this to come back from like I don't know, if someone pulled that trick on what we said before, where you board wipe and then give your creatures indestructible, it's a good way to get your defenses up, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and Mono White's always happy to have human soldiers.
Yeah.
And it can always do lots of fun, good stuff with that. Yeah.
And especially with the human tribal deck, this would do really well, because if your humans are getting +2/+0 from the commander, I'm pretty sure that's what she does, that makes them, you make 1 billion 3/1s, and that's a really interesting way to go about this.
Unfortunately, I can't get the rulings for this on Gatherer because it's not out yet. But I believe the wording says that you create. Yeah. So in total, so if you choose if you cast a spell for 7 mana, that means you choose 3 opponents, and then each opponent has, say, 5 creatures. I believe that means you create 15 1/1s. Yeah, so you
like
can
that
generate
make sense.
a rather large board state, and then maybe you say you have like an anthem effect or something like call to arms. That could go from making 15 1/1s to 15 15s, which, you know, not necessarily the best, maybe, but that's an extremely powerful effect. Obviously, Coat of Arms is an extremely powerful effect in any tribal deck.
Yeah.
But I think combined with a card that can create lots and lots and lots of small creatures for relatively cheap.
15 creatures for 7 mana is always good. Like.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Alone, that could be 15 power for 7 mana, which is very efficient.
Yeah. So the next card is Decoy Gambit. And, I mean, it's either insane...
Blue cards now, yeah?
Yeah, blue cards now. Where, this is either really good value bounce, like dealing with threats, or card advantage for you. So, if they have you draw a card for their creature, then that's already a cantrip. And if everyone has you draw a card for that, that's 3 cards for 3 mana, which is decent. It's not an Ancestral Recall, but don't think we're having that anytime soon. And yeah, if they don't want you to draw cards, like, yeah, you get to bounce their stuff.
One card is above rate. That's already like a better rate than
Divination.
The closest thing we have to that is what? Winged Words?
Yeah, 2 mana for 2 cards. That's
Yeah.
if you control a creature with flying.
Yeah, exactly. So that requires another thing. So they're both similar, I think. This card obviously can draw you up 3, but it's also got like a secondary effect. The only downside I think to this card is that in the right situation, like I think with a lot of cards that rely on your opponent's decision, your opponent can look at their hand, look at their board, and your board, and go and kind of think, what is the best move for me here to get the most, or come out on top after you've resolved this spell. So yes, you could cast it hoping to remove a creature from each opponent, but you could end up drawing 3 cards in maybe a time where you've already drawn a lot of cards, and what you really need is to be able to get rid of your opponent's big threats. Or in a time where you need to draw cards, then they can choose just to bounce the creatures to their hand.
Yeah, like, if you're trying to, like, recover from, like, you've played out your hand and someone board wiped, and you just want to, people have just started playing creatures, and you cast this hoping to draw some cards, and they just let them bounce their creature to their hand, then
Yeah.
like it's got a huge downside for sure, but I reckon the benefits outweigh the.
I think it's never in, like, you wouldn't see it in competitive play, I don't think, like in CEDH.
Yeah.
Simply because it's too volatile in what it does.
It's not 100%
But I think
reliable.
as a good card, it's like, I think you'll see play in blue decks.
Yeah, it's good. The next card we have is Fierce Guardianship, which is a free negate if you control your commander, which has been talked about a bit.
So this is the next card in this cycle.
Yeah.
Of free if you control your commander cards. Yeah, I think this is powerful.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think it could be I think this definitely would see play in a lot of decks.
Yeah, and I reckon, I'm not sure, but if the current global crisis wasn't happening, I reckon this would go up in price a bit, because like.
Oh, this is a CDH card.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like.
It's in, or I think this will become, this spell probably more so than the other cards in this cycle will become the
sought after card.
Commander.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's no reason not to run it in blue. Like, if you're playing blue, you may as well run it. Like, it's.
Yeah, there's not really. I mean, if you're trying to play like a nice blue deck that doesn't counter people spells, then sure. But I think like non-creature especially is a lot less it's reactive, but it can countering non-creature spell often is like, oh, I counter your board wipe, or I counter your removal spell, and it's like more defensive than offensive.
Yeah. Usually
Which
you're
also
not.
represented in the card game as well.
Yeah,
And
fierce guardianship. Yeah. Like, you're not really gonna counter their card draw, really. Like, you're gonna want to save it just in case they remove your
Like, I
commander.
would counter someone's expropriate, or I would counter
Oh
someone's
yeah, for sure.
draw card spell,
Rise of the
that's
Dark
something
Realms.
that deserves a counter, but most of the time you're playing non-creature counter spells to protect your board state from instants and sorceries that would damage it.
And enchantments and artifacts.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It does hit like majority of the card types. Like,
Yeah,
I think that's something that people don't really consider. Like, it's more of a, people think of it as there's non-creatures and creatures. I see where they're coming from. Like, you usually want to play lots of creatures, but like the fact is that there's more card types than creatures.
I think in a low CMC commander deck as well, like, I can imagine dropping my 1 or 2 mana commander, and then going, aha, I counter your ramp piece or something, like, you know, and set someone back further. I don't know, like, that feels more like a 1v1 kind of scenario, because it puts you at a card disadvantage
to the other two opponents.
An equal card disadvantage. So no one's gaining or losing cards. But like in like a 1v1 with 4 players, it puts you two behind of the other 2 players. So I don't know. I think, speaking myself from having an interest in competitive Magic, it definitely, I see this card and I want to counter someone's ramp spell, but then from a casual point of view, it's probably not gonna, people won't like that, and also, you know, it's not like very
it
good
wouldn't
to do a large games.
Yeah, like, people just would frown on you for that, like, and especially if someone played an Expropriate that later, they're just like, hey, you could have countered that. Whereas you countered my ramp piece and prevented me from dealing with that. And it's just, you're not going to use it for that. It's more defensive than offensive, for sure.
I mean, I want to use it for that, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, I'm the
person who wants, I want Leopold unbanned, so you know.
Yeah, he's the one who said, oh no, I'm not scary, and had a Rise of the Dark Realms in hand, and a billion creatures in every graveyard. Moving on. We've got Tidal Barracuda. So, this is a cool card. I don't understand any player may cast spells as though they had Flash, but your turn's protected. So it's like not really kind of a group hug card. So I just...
Oh yeah, I think this could go in pretty much every group hug deck ever.
Yeah.
I think.
If they're playing blue.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4 mana, that's the same cost as Leyline of Anticipation, although that has the Leyline effect. And also the other one, what's it called? I'm trying to think now. I can't remember.
What, Vidalcan
really
Orrery?
popular one.
Vidalcan Orrery?
Yeah, that's it, Vidalcan Orrery. Yeah, so, like, I think it's the same mana cost. Obviously, the downside's bigger, but then the upside of them not being able to cast spells on your turn is like a big upside.
It
like
makes
your spells on your turn they can't be countered. People can't interact with your sorcery speed board wipes. Like, there's so much stuff you're free to do once without anyone responding to it once people can't cast spells on your turn.
And interesting, it's not just preventing its own ability from happening during your turn. It's no one can cast spells during your turn. So their instants can't be cast during your turn. Their flash cards can't be cast during your turn. It's just like really good.
They can activate a but like it's the same kind of thing. I can cast my Wrath of God, and the best they can do is maybe like activate their Rune of the Hidden Realm or something to bounce a creature until end of turn to make it survive.
Yeah,
and
or Tulane. And like this looks like if you were to play it, people would see it and they'd be like, oh yay, I can cast spells and stuff during everyone's turn, yay. But really, it can be really preventative and like a hidden threat if you get it. Like, you could be setting up for a board wipe next turn, or an Expropriate, or...
Yeah, I think another thing that interests me about this card is that I see the play patterns that emerge when people can cast spells at flash speed is they're more likely to go, hey, I'm not going to cast spells on my turn, and instead I'll pass the turn, just play my land, or do something very specific to my turn, and then I'm playing my spells in response to other people's things. But once everyone has the ability to do that, it feels like I'm passing the turn, and then everyone goes, oh, so I don't need to respond to anything. I'll wait till the next person's turn, and then the next person passes the turn, and it's the same kind of thing. And suddenly, it can almost slow down the game because people are like, oh, well, then I'm casting it on the end step before my turn, and then everyone's doing that, and then it becomes like all these end steps become like slugfests where everyone's casting like all their spells.
Yeah, like just before their turn, so that they can untap with it and cast their hand.
But then suddenly you've got like, oh, I'm gonna wait till the end of my turn to cast my spells I can cast with flash speed. But everyone else did that as well. So now, usually the advantage of doing that, or the advantage of having everything at flash speed, is that you can outplay your opponents. They tap out their mana to play their cards, and then you can safely cast your own spells. And then, but now everyone has flash speed spells. They don't need to do that, and they can wait until someone. It's like tension building until someone plays their spell, and then you just like the stack just fills with all these spells as everyone tries to get the most value and most advantage out of casting their spells at instant speed.
Yeah, this really will change how people are playing the game for sure.
And I think finally one thing is then that almost feels like the casting spells at flash speed becomes almost obsolete, and then the most advantageous way of playing your spells for you becomes casting them at sorcery speed, or only on your turn, maybe on your own end step, or like upkeep. You still have the small advantage of being able to place things
and no one responds
when you normally can't, but you have the advantage of no one else can interact with that, and so you suddenly have this you want to be playing stuff on your turn, and then it's like a really weird you're able to cast stuff at flash speed, but you're not doing it because it's a disadvantage to do so. I think it's a weird card. Like it looks cool on face value, but as you explore it, it has like really weird play patterns that I think definitely emerge when this drops.
Yeah, a lot to talk about on that one. But moving on to black, we've got Boneyard Mycodrax. So this is another card that is just like, oh yes, I care about creatures in graveyards. Oh yes, my power and toughness are creatures in graveyards. And so it's a huge threat for sure, depending on the deck that you're playing.
I think this is a kind of card. We've seen a lot of them. They've all taken slightly different forms. Like there's ones that are equipments. There's one with little weapon, I believe, and then there's other ones that are just simple with the very similar ability. I think the interesting thing here is the scavenge. And
that was the Golgari thing. That was the Golgari mechanic in Return to Ravnica, yeah?
Yes, I believe it was.
The second Ravnica block.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, what's Tarmogoyf do again? He's similar, right? In the fact...
Tarmogoyf can't grab hard fights in graveyards.
Yeah.
So, Tarmogoyf can't get nearly as big. Tarmogoyf is also 2 mana compared to 3. So, yeah. I think this is worse than Tarmogoyf in, a competitive scene. But in Commander, where you're free to spend turns massively building your graveyard, and then slamming this, and maybe playing a deck with Gerard in it, and you sacrifice it, and then you get to deal a ton of damage to all your opponents and win the game off that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so much better than Tarmogoyf in a casual format. it's just gonna like keep growing, and if you're playing the right deck, you can just overwhelm your opponents. If you like equip it with like something that gives it trample or like a sort of something or other, and it just
this becomes a I hit you, I win, I kill you. I hit you, I kill you. I hit you, I win the game kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it becomes an immediate I have to answer that. But then the great thing about it is it has scavenge, and suddenly you can reuse it basically and slap a ton of +1/+1 counters from it on onto one of your other creatures, and it's like a double threat, because suddenly they remove it and then there's another threat, and suddenly maybe that one has hexproof or is something that's much harder to deal with, and so it's got like this kind of two-pronged fork that you have to be wary of, because otherwise it can very easily catch you off guard. I like the card. I think it's cool. It's quite simple, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah. So the next one we've got is Netherborn Altar. So I was really confused about this card from the start. I'm like, why would you want to put your commander into your hand? It can just be interacted with there. And then I realized, oh, that's a way to dodge command attacks.
Yeah.
And
so I think this card is going to be, I think a staple in almost any black deck in Commander from now on. It's just, like, you would be using this quite a few times. And then recently, there's been so many cards printed that interact with, counters on permanents.
Yeah, like Price of Betrayal.
But you can do so much with it. Like, what's the card called? It's Hex. Hex Parasite is the card. And you can pay life and 2 life or 1 black mana into Phyrexian mana, and then X, and you can just remove counters from things. And so it ends up being like tap.
Put your commander into your hands.
Yeah, exactly. And suddenly, that's a very powerful effect. And I think this is a great card. You do have to be careful though, because 3 life for every counter on it can stack up quite quickly. So, the first time it's 3 life, not that big a deal. Then it's 6, still I take that for quite a couple of turns before it becomes a problem. And then 9, 12, I think once you hit double digits, that can become something that you have to be really careful using, because you could use it at the wrong time. Someone slams what's it called? The best finisher in green ever printed.
Oh. There's a lot of good finishes in green. I've forgotten the name as well.
Craterhoof Behemoth.
Oh yeah, that one.
God.
But
Great card. But I think you watch this and then slam Craterhoof Behemoth and you're out of the game very quickly.
Yeah.
So I think, it's not something to be tapping every turn to get around command attacks willy-nilly, because unless you have a way to interact with counters, because you can definitely kill yourself very quickly with it. But I think it's a cool card, and it's definitely going to see a lot of play.
Yeah, and it's overall a great card. I mean, dodging command attacks, it's just whether or not you want to be paying that life to dodge command attacks, whether or not the life outweighs, the amount of life lost outweighs playing your commander without tax, or whether or not you want to play it without tax for that life. I mean, definitely the first couple of times.
Because even if you're on a low life total, but then getting your commander one more time out of your command zone for like for much cheaper, so that you can then, I don't know, do some wacky stuff and win the game that turn, that's a massive yes. I'm doing that even if it takes me to single digit life total. But at the same time, if I know someone has a big bomb threat that I'm gonna have trouble interacting with and could definitely take massive chunks out of my life total without too much problem, then maybe I'm less likely to be using this, because every bit of life could be the difference between me staying in the game or losing the game. So I think you have to think about it. Don't just, it's not the card. I don't think it's something you can just tap every turn and think you'll be fine, because I think that damage can stack up very quickly. But as long as you're above 20, I think you're absolutely fine to be tapping this and getting your commander for much cheaper.
Yeah, so the next card is one in the humans deck. It's Species Specialist. What did I just say? Species Specialist. So, it's, notably it's a human warrior, but, it can name any creature type. So it's in the humans deck because you play it, you name humans, all your humans will draw you cards. And it's not just non-token. So all your tokens that you made with the Call of the Copper Coats will draw you a card. So if someone board wipes and you had 15 humans, you draw 15 cards. And it also works in any other deck. Admittedly, you might be wanting to swap, if you slot it into a sliver deck, you might want to put it in another sliver, but the amount of card advantage is just so much better.
Yeah, this is a card that I think almost every, creature, tribal deck is going to be throwing straight in, because it's just such power, drawing so many cards, I play my creature, and then someone board wipes, and then, there's, that card that's a tribal bring back all card, a creature.
Patriarch's Bidding.
Yeah, there's lots of cards that can, interact with this in very powerful ways, and you can draw a lot of cards with it. So I think, yeah, it's definitely a great card, and, I'd love to try it out.
Yeah, and it also would work if you're playing, not tribal, but lots of different creature type, lots of the same creature types, or even an ETB, base deck. You can, with a sack outlet, you can bounce it, name a different creature type, sack something, bounce it again even, name a different creature type, sack that creature type, draw a couple of cards. There's some stuff you can do with it that doesn't need to be exclusively in, tribal stuff. I mean, you might not want to be doing that, but it's an option. So the next card we've got is Deadly Rollick, which is the next card in that free with your commander card. And it's 4 mana instead of 3, so 3 and a black. And this is less of a defensive card than what we've seen with the previous ones. It being the negate, the indestructible one, and the red one being change the targets of spell in the Temur one. This is a more offensive card rather than a defensive card, and yeah, it's still a really good card, but it's it's more offensive than defensive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, free interaction, especially exile a creature, that's a crazy good effect. I think that this is going to see a lot of play in a lot of black decks. I mean, 4 mana for a removal spell. Yes, it gets around indestructible, which is always nice. It gets,
it gets rid of an Uro permanently, if they're playing it as their commander, no, but if they're just playing it as a card in their 99, it permanently gets rid of Uro, or any problematic escape cards and stuff.
Yeah, great, it can help you against graveyard shenanigans. Exile is a powerful effect. and when you're freely exiling any creature at instant speed, I think that's a very powerful spell, and yeah, I think it's going to see a lot of play.
So the next one is the one I just talked about. Deflecting SWAT. So if you control your commander, as we've seen before...
This is red. These are our red cards now, right? Yeah?
Yeah, red cards. Sorry, I keep forgetting to do that. But it's a redirect for potentially free if you've got your commander. And it's... notably, you may choose new targets for target spell or ability. So if they play a big X spell, like... I don't know. But if they're like, choose X targets, then you can redirect it to like a bunch of different targets. It's not just a singular target.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's like free if you've got your commander, and it dodges, like, you can dodge removal with it as well. Like, it's more defensive than the Deadly Rollick we just had. And it just is really good. Yeah.
Yep. Alright. Next red card, we have Molten Echoes. So, Molten Echoes is 2 red for an enchantment. As Molten Echoes enters the battlefield, choose type. Whenever a non-token creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. This is great.
Any tribal
really
decks.
like
Yeah. It synergizes with token, stuff, because it makes tokens, obviously. And it works well with tribal stuff. Like, we've seen a couple of other cards, because obviously there's a tribal, precon in this, set. And the fact that it gains haste, you can do a bunch of cool stuff with it. Like, you can give your big, Galta. No, not Galta, but something big that's non-legendary haste, and just whack someone for 1,000,000. Or tap it if it's got a tap ability, a card draw tap ability, which you can get value off. And overall a really good card.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, not much to say here. Copying creatures and making them have haste, even if they only stick around for that turn, is definitely a powerful effect. I think the limitation here being that you have to choose a creature type. This will see more play in tribal decks over non-tribal decks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good card.
So the next one is the final one we've got. Oh, moving on to green, sorry. Yep, moving on to green. It's the last one of the tribal cycle, free cycle. If you control your commander, you may cast this card without paying its mana cost. And it's a fog effect, but it's one-sided. So it's prevent all damage that will be dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. So either you can use this to, if you're trading with a lot of stuff in attacks and blocks, you can play this for potentially free most of the time, and your opponents lose their board instead of you. And so this is just a really great card overall. And I mean, the fact that it can also be, if you tapped out last turn, you swung out, and someone swings at you with plays a bunch of huge cards and swings at you for 1,000,000, you can just prevent it all.
Yeah, I think fog effects are something that I think get underrated quite a bit. I mean, obviously, they don't fit the best into every deck, but decks, when it's a one-sided effect, I think this can come up, and the downside of this is it's the kind of card that might get stuck in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have a combat trick, but it can also be a waste of a card sometimes. Especially with other cards we've seen can be used for other things, giving your creatures indestructible when you're swinging out and you don't lose your board if they block or have a combat trip or something. Like, they can all be used for other things, but like, this one's really a two-trick pony. I reckon it's probably the worst of the cycle, maybe. It's still really good, don't get me wrong, but like, the others just have a bit more leniency of when they can be used. So the next card we've got is Selective Adaptation. 4 green sorcery, reveal the top 7 cards of your library. Choose from among them a card with flying, card with first strike, and so on, for a bunch of keywords, and put one of the chosen cards onto the battlefield and the other chosen cards in your hand, put the rest in your graveyard. So, huge card advantage to start if you're playing a creatures deck with lots of different keywords. I think the keywords in total: Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance. So basically all the evergreen ones, which are still really good. And the fact that it can cheat something huge into play, like, I don't know, Galta. Except Galta already really cheats itself into play. I don't know. But just something huge, and the rest of them you get into your hand.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about this?
I think you said it all. I mean, it's another great effect that can very easily cheat something quite big into play. Yeah, I think, like, you know, you could cheat Ulamog, or
Any of the Eldrazi, really.
Any of the Eldrazi Titans. I mean, obviously, all very powerful cards could definitely go into a deck, and yeah, it could make this definitely. I mean, it straight up draws you a lot of cards, and then in the right deck, and also just putting a big creature into play is always a powerful effect, and definitely can be game winning, or at least put you ahead.
Yeah. So then we move to gold. So the first, mainly we're just talking about the commanders now. The first commander we're talking about is Otrimi, the Ever Playful, which is a mutate tribal card, and it's, I don't know how much support it's got in the deck itself. Like, I'm just looking at the deck list. From what I can see, it does, like, there's a bit of mutate I can see, but not too much. Like, a lot of it, like, a lot of the few I've kind of seen have been Hydras, which support the other one, the other commander, the Zaxara, the exemplary. But, like, it's a really cool card. It's card advantage because you can bring back all your mutate cards. I haven't actually had too much of a look at the new mutate cards, but they seem pretty good. And yeah, but I just wonder why this one was put at the head of this, like the main commander. It just looks more like it could be suited for one of the other commanders. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, looking at the card itself, I really like how Otrimi plays.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun. Obviously, playing into mutate. Yeah, I think, obviously, 6/6 for 6 mana. I mean, it's alright with trample, and then, obviously, its ability is definitely very powerful. And then, obviously, that plays into you being able to get lots of mutate cards back. But like you said, the actual deck list itself doesn't look super
oriented around this commander.
Yeah, so I think it could be improved.
Especially since the
deck list improved, but
yeah.
I by itself I really like the commander.
Yeah, And I reckon you're going to be able to, because at the moment we haven't really seen most of the set, like the Ikoria set, and so I reckon we'll be able to see more potential for this commander to be a bit better played once the full set has been released. I mean, yeah. And the next commander we've got is, I said it before, Zaxara the Exemplary. So we've got a Hydra tribal, or Hydra tribal-ish, but X-tribal really, commander, which does all the things you want it to do. So it taps for a couple of mana, it creates huge, so instead of, if you put all your mana into an X spell, like Expansion Explosion or something, then you'd be able to also keep, like, creature advantage by getting a huge Hydra. Does it give it? It does not give it trample, I believe. But still, a huge threat whenever you cast an X spell. So, even if you just played one huge X spell per turn and a land, you're still getting huge advantage.
Yeah.
And in the deck, there's a few Hydras to support this. There's a few X spells, I believe. There's a Villainous Wealth in it, which is always a really cool card. And yeah, there's a couple of X spells in it, like non-Hydra spells, but it's still a really, really good card.
Yeah, I think it's it plays into the a lot of the cards in the deck. I think this deck definitely seems more dividing in terms of which commander it's playing into more. So I think that can be good if you're someone who's looking to try out all the different commanders, but it can also be a little bit like you play one commander and you only draw cards that work with the other ones, and so it can feel a bit like you're not playing the most cohesive deck.
Yeah.
I prefer precons that play more into one commander, and then the other ones are there more to say hey, these are
options.
You can play them. Yeah, these are definitely more suboptimal compared to one of the commanders that the deck is definitely more thicker.
Yeah. So the other ones we've got Ukima, Stalking Shadow, and Kazar, Ruthless Stalker. So these are, each deck, in case you didn't know, has a partner pair that works in the combination. And they're the battle, like the Battle Bond partners, they partner with a specific other card. And these ones definitely seem more of a good stuff type of approach, less of a focused strategy type thing. Ukima is you drain stuff and you get counters from the other one. So it's not really leaning into a specific strategy. You could lean into a specific strategy with them, but it seems more of a good stuff approach if you don't really like the mutate or the X tribal type thing.
Yeah, I think these ones are something that are the least played into with the rest of the deck. Obviously, they don't, like you said, they don't really seem to play towards a specific strategy. There's a bit of +1/+1 counter stuff, and then there's also, but then the other one, the Stalking Shadow doesn't seem to do much at all. It has an ability for itself. I would have liked to see it maybe cost 4 mana, and then when any creature you control leaves the battlefield, trigger that.
Yeah.
Because that would be much more on theme. I think with the rest of the deck as well, that you can mutate lots of creatures, and then maybe you put some +1/+1 counters on them, playing into you play some big Hydras, and then they die, and then it functions better with the deck.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of these two though. They seem pretty generic and
Yeah.
I'm not like I prefer the other two. They definitely seem more want you to be a little more creative with them. Although at the same time, I think these ones force you to be creative in your deck building because they don't
give you a way
say,
to go.
hey, play this strategy. They're like, come on, you can kind of decide for yourself how you want this.
Yeah, and I don't really see where Ukima's can't be blocked is coming from. Like, it just doesn't really, like, maybe flavorful sense, but it just doesn't really, I don't see why it needs to be there.
It's the only ability on the card that's blue, other than it being a small creature.
Yeah. But then again, we've had can't be blocked in, like, a few other things.
People is completely
black, for sure.
Is black. Like, you don't see that in blue. And then, can't be blocked is the blue mechanic there. But, yeah. I don't know. And I guess a whale is a blue creature type. So, yeah.
Oh well. I reckon we could have asked for a bit more there. But anyway, the next one we're starting on the next deck's commanders. We've got the Abzan one, main deck one, Cathril, Aspect Warper. So this is, I think, like a type of thing that you just get a bunch of keywords, some sack outlets, some general stuff, and just roll with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems cool. Like, it looks like a cool commander, and I reckon it's definitely like an Odric style effect. Like, they're running Odric in this deck, but it seems
the
seems
fact that
powerful.
they counters and so they give it permanently is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, vigilance counters and stuff, the things we're seeing recently for this new set, Ikoria. And I think, like, one of the reasons, like, we're seeing stuff like Atrini and Cathril is maybe a promotion, like, to promote their main set that it's linking along with. I don't know.
Yeah, so, I see what you mean. They want you to play into a, more, those aren't necessarily, they're the face of the deck, but they're not necessarily the best commander for the deck, and they're more to say, hey, go and check out Ikoria, so that Wizards can make more money.
Yeah. I mean, it still looks like a pretty powerful and fun commander to build around, but I don't know. I would have preferred to see this in the main set and then build around it from there, because all of it, like, looks cool, I guess, but I think this is just more of a promotion to see, hey, check out the other set and buy stuff from there so we get more sales. I don't know.
I think
it's just what I see. So the next one we've got for the deck is Tyarm, Luminous Enigma. And so this looks again like a counter strategy, like a vigilance counters and stuff. And like, it's leaning into the graveyard strategy as well. Like, I like the fact that it's more centered on one strategy than the last deck. It still feels like
focus. Maybe not the same, but and obviously not necessarily doing it in the same way, but they are playing into the same kind of things.
Yeah, and again, this seems like, oh, go play the main set type thing. But I mean, I think that's only happening in this one deck. So, and Atrini, obviously. But yeah, it still looks like a really powerful deck. In all, it's put in Karametra, which is really cool. I like the fact that they've done that. It's really cool. So the partner commanders for this one are Nikara, Lair, Scavenger, and Yannick, Scavenging Sentinel. So these look really, like, this, again, it looks like they're leaning into the, theme of, we're going with counters type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying
So,
to find the
I
other
think Nikara is, yeah, it's 2 minutes, 3 mana, least by, yeah, so I think they're like a 3 mana commander that plays into the strategy and draws you cards is definitely a nice thing to see there. And then Yannick, the fact that it puts lots of counters on the things then plays into Nikara because you can get tons of counters on your stuff and then they all die and you get to put lots of you get to put counters on stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I like this one a lot more than the others, I reckon, because it's consistent card advantage and, like, the fact that you can get really big creatures, lots of card advantage from these partner commanders. I would probably prefer to play that strategy than the other two, but the other two still seem pretty good.
Yeah. The only thing I maybe would have liked to see is possibly that Yannick could maybe exile a creature from your graveyard, just to play a little more into the graveyard thing. I think the thing with that is it's a green-white strategy, green-white creature, and so the problem with that is it doesn't really.
What?
It's a bit of a,
Yeah.
It's a bend, it's not a break to do that. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a more
graveyard-oriented thing for that.
Yeah, or something just that plays a little more into the graveyard side, so that when those cards pop up in the deck and you're playing these commanders, they don't feel obsolete and like you're just kind of like, oh, I'm throwing my cards in my graveyard for no real reason. And I get that there's other cards in the deck that gain value from your graveyard, and so it's not like you're completely out of options. But I think these two they're like a little more general, like value commanders more than anything, than the other two, which the other two being a little more specific. This one it just puts +1/+1 counters, which is quite generic, and then the other one draws you cards. Like generally makes sense. It's just value.
It's a more of another good stuff approach, and also there's an arcane signet in every deck, which I'm really happy about. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, buy the Brawl decks, Commander players, because we want to sell Brawl decks and get people into Brawl, and now it's in Commander products. Yay! Good job, Watsy.
Yeah, that's definitely good to see.
Next, we've got the Timeless Wisdom cycling deck with Garvey, Nest Warden. So, value from cycling, which is really cool.
Yeah, I like cycling. I think it's definitely a cool mechanic. Discarding your cards that are less useful in that situation to hopefully draw you into cards that are more useful is very cool. And then the fact that you can then get dinosaurs from that, dinosaur cats even.
Dinosaur cat tribal.
I like that kind of value. That's cool to see.
Yeah, it looks like a really cool deck. I'd love to pick this up, but sadly I'm only going to buy one deck, and that's got to be the Temur one, because who doesn't love Temur? Akram, the Soaring Wind. Whenever you create one or more tokens for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white bird, and 3 and a Jeskai creature tokens you control gain double strike until end of turn. Wow. I didn't know there was a token theme here, except for the fact you cycle to get tokens with the main one. Like, I just didn't realize that. Nothing in here really screams tokens, except for the main commander.
And yeah, I think the two commanders make them, but I think that's more meant to be like a, oh hey, you can get into a little bit of like board state by discarding your cards.
Yeah, and maybe it's
which is not necessarily like a bad effect. like being able to get flying 1/1, which is it's a nice jump blocker, and they maybe can get in for some damage. Maybe later get some double strike going. I mean, Akim doesn't look. He only gives it to creature tokens, which is a little bit of a downside.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's fine.
For 6 mana, I would have preferred to see
all creatures
getting double side.
Yeah. So next we've got the partner commanders. We've got Bralin, Sky Shark Rider, and Shabraz the Sky Shark. This looks really funny. I love these cards. Like the fact that Bralin can give Shabraz trample and Shabraz gives Bralin flying. So funny. It's so flavorful.
Yeah, I really like the fact that it's a shark bird.
Yeah, that's my favorite part. A shark bird. The art also looks insane.
Yeah, it's a really good artwork by Paul Scott Canavan. Hope I said his name right. That's how I did.
Oh.
But yeah, it looks really cool.
But aside from the art, these work really well with the cycling theme of the deck, and also the other parts of like Magic in general. Like Shabraz benefits from drawing cards, which is a big thing in Commander. And it's not the second card each turn, it's a card. So when you draw your card for turn, you're getting value. Oh,
which is always nice.
This is
and then they kind of feel like from there they're like, oh yeah, then the commanders themselves can be like your win con, because you do your cycling stuff. And I think often with a lot of decks that are like have crazy engines going on, where they're like, I cycle my card and I draw another one and I cycle and I draw, and they're like drawing through half their deck.
It looks impressive,
so
but
these kinds of cards, the fact that the commanders can turn that into damage and life is definitely a really good effect.
And also +1/+1 counters on the both of them. Like, you could even turn this into a more oriented like Jeskai Voltron deck. You just dump your hand and swing in with Bralin, and he gets flying from Shabraz, and you just win off commander damage.
Yeah.
It seems you could easily make this into a lot of different takes. I really like this deck a lot more than the other two we've just had. This is a great deck. Looks so good. And it's also got...
Are we going to do the Temur one last?
Yes, we're going to do that one last, because I think we've got a lot of great things to say about that one. We're going to do the...
Best for last.
Yes. The human tribal deck, Jirina Kudro. Am I saying that right? I don't know. But it's fine. Like, do we have a human tribal commander yet, aside from this one? Because I looked around but couldn't really find anything.
I don't know. Human tribal commanders.
Like, a lot of the legends in, like, the human tribe, like, the human 5-color humans in Modern and stuff is, like, you see, like, Thalias and stuff, and you really can't play Thalia in Commander, because mono-white humans it doesn't really appeal to me. I mean, but we've got, even if we didn't have one, yay, we've got a human tribal commander. If we did have one, cool, we've got another one.
I guess Sagada, green white, 4/5 flying, human. First.
Huh.
I mean, it's an angel, but like it
cares about humans.
It can make human tokens.
Yeah. This seems like a better human tribal commander, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it looks like a lot of cool cards in this deck. Just generally, lots of humans, obviously. Cards that care about humans. Like, looks like fun. Also, they've put Skull Clamp in the deck, which looks really cool. Turn all your humans that you're making into card draw.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say about this because it's a pretty plain strategy. Play lots of humans, get value off humans, swing in for $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Kelsey and the Plague. So that's the next commander. Vigilance, Haste, 2/2. I think this one really it taps to deal 1 damage to a creature you don't control, and then when that creature dies, you get an experience counter, and then it gets bigger for having experience counters.
We haven't seen experience counters since CM2 or something. What's it? I don't even know the set. But
we got experience counters with C15 maybe?
Yeah, well, still, return to experience counters, and it doesn't look like too broken of an experience counter commander as well, which is great. And, like, doesn't really play into the human tribal theme of the deck, really. Like, from what I see, it just doesn't really fit with...
I think, realistically, this is a card that you want to put Death Touch on.
Yeah, because you can just kill all your opponent's big threats.
And then it gets really good.
Yeah.
It's like, you put Death Touch on it, you untap it a couple of times, and suddenly you've got, like, you just go tap, kill, tap, kill, tap, kill. I mean, it's probably not as good as Goblin Sharpshooter, the one that doesn't untap on your untapped phase, but when a creature dies, it untaps.
Yeah.
So then and it taps to deal 1 damage to something. So then you go put Death Touch on it, and you just go tap, kill, untap, tap, kill, untap, and you just kill your opponent's entire board every single time they play a creature.
Yeah, but notably, this can be your commander. So you've got like that type of combo in the command zone instead of just in your 99.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a human, so it does fit with the deck, but it definitely looks like it's not really meant to head the deck too much. It's meant to be Jarina. So the next one we've got the partners is Trin, Champion of Freedom, and
Silver, Devourer of the Free.
So, this does look a bit more leaning into the humans aspect of it with Trin, sorry. I looked at Adriana.
It's another Mardu aristocrat strategy, I think.
Yeah. You sacrifice a human. So it's more leaning into the human tribal, but it benefits from sacking humans, really. And generally, you can play this, like this 2-card commander combo, and just build around it in a way that doesn't use humans and still get value from sacking the... You just swing in with a bunch of even non-humans, create a human, sack the human, put a +1/+1 counter on silver, blah blah blah.
Yeah. A thing I've noticed is that all the partner commanders, they cost, like one of them will cost, have a certain CMC, and then the other one will cost 1 more.
Yeah.
It's cool, so it's like really telling you, play this one first, then play this, and then if the first one died, you can maybe play that the next turn because you've had 2 turns to get enough mana for the command attacks, and all that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Just, it's a small thing, but I think that's interesting.
Also, the thing to note, there's been a bunch of reprinted mythic planeswalkers, 1 in each deck. So this one has Nahiri, the Temur one has Jace, Architect of Thought, the Garvey one had Chandra Flamecaller, Ajani Unyielding in the Symbiotic Swarm one, and Nissa Steward of Elements in the Sultai one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So the next one we've got, the last but not least, certainly not least, is the drumroll, the Temur one with Calamax, the Storm Sire. Yay! Spellslinger and Temur. This looks...
the best.
Yes. you're making up for your previous comments.
Calamax the Stormsire. It's a 4/4 for one of its elemental dinosaur.
That cares about instants.
Interesting creature combinations that we're getting.
Yeah.
With Ikora. It's very cool.
What did it make? Cat dinosaurs. Now we've got dinosaur elementals. Yeah, this looks really cool. The only thing I would say could be better is the fact that the deck didn't really include anything to tap down Calamax, so you need to throw it into combat every turn to get it tapped down to copy the instance. But yeah, I
guess it kind of like it plays into that wants to attack. I think 1 because it's Temur, and 2 because it's like you copy your instance, so you get a bigger Calamax, you can attack. So like, you know, you swing with it on turn 5, copy an instant, it gets bigger. And just think about this, because it's instant spells, right?
Yeah.
It means you can cast them during combat, and then he gets bigger.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you just like cast an instant, play it, like get it bigger, 5 damage at them potentially if they don't block. Yeah, it can just lead to some really cool plays with you send it into a bad like situation and your opponent will be like, well, he probably has a combat trick in hand, or at least a few instants to buff it up, so should I block then? And yeah, that looks really cool. Also, I was listening to the command zone on this. This goes infinite with any like copy target instant or sorcery spell. Like, you cast the instant or sorcery, if it's tapped, you copy it. So you just copy a random spell on the stack. And then you copy the original, like, the one that's copying. And then you get another copy, because you copied it. So you copy another spell, copy it, and it just goes infinite.
Well, Calamax is the first instant spell you cast each turn.
Yeah, no. But if you're using the other spell that you just copied with Calamax to copy the one, you get another copy from that.
And you just create infinite spells that are just copying each other.
Yeah, and so you get Calamax infinitely big.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
I like that, that's cool.
Yeah, they don't really...
You like fork? Are there any fork spells in the deck?
There's a dual caster mage, but it don't know. There's nothing that can actually use it. To get the infinite combo, you need a spell that,
Yeah, exactly, like fork.
Yeah. Or Narset's Reversal or something. It can't be on a creature, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then we've got, Xyrus, the Riding Storm.
Oh yeah. This one looks like a cool group hug commander. So, whenever your opponent draws a card except the first one, you get a 1/1. So, if your opponent's got some like crazy value engine going on, like it just sits there and is like, oh hi, I'm building a board state with your value engine. Thank you for that. And also it looks cool in group hug because you can just like, hey, do you want to take 3? Oh, sure. Okay, we both draw 3 cards. Yay! And I reckon...
Yeah, and then you can crazy.
Yeah, people just like you for it. There's a bit of stuff going into this, but less. This is more of a good stuff commander, but still really cool.
Yeah. Then finally we have Haldan and Avid Arcanus and Paco, Arcane Retriever.
So, it's a man and his dog.
Yeah. And one of them, so Haldan can, you can play non-creature cards from exile as long as they have fetch counters on them, if you exile them. And you may spend mana of any color to cast those spells. So that's nice.
Yeah.
And then Paco has haste 3/5 mana, so you definitely die when you use your swing with it. But when it attacks, you exile the top card of each player's library and put a fetch counter on each of them. Put a +1/+1 counter on feel like it's Paco, but I appreciate Paco. For each non-creature card exiled this way. So if you exile a beast around non-creature cards, you know, he could become like a 7/7 even, if in a 4-player game. And then suddenly he's not so small and probably won't die when he attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a very cool card.
Yeah, and it's card advantage, and yeah, Calamax is the only thing really caring about instants in this deck, but the other two look really cool, and could work really well.
Very much like good decks now.
Yeah, you don't really need to make a value engine with the commander working with your deck. You generally want the commander working with your deck, but this deck has enough stuff, I reckon, that you can get value from the commanders doing their own things, and then play your deck out. Like,
Yeah.
and like, it has, and also Calamax, like, they've got Lightning Greaves in this, which is a really cool card, because, like, my friend pointed out that Lightning Greaves would have been better because I'm casting so many instants, but when you think about it, you play Greaves turn 2, Calamax turn 4, and swing in on turn 4 by equipping Greaves. Like, that way you can start your engine right away.
Yeah. So, I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about. So, yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell when you subscribe. Make sure you don't miss any of our videos.
A very limited amount of videos, sadly, but we're working on it. We're getting some more videos out.
Yeah. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.